Audio Jungle.
Man dies in Denby crash. A man died as a result of injuries he sustained when his car crashed into a wall in Denby, Clarendon on Friday morning. The deceased has been identified as Christopher Robertson, 35, a resident of Racetrack in Clarendon. Police report that about 12:43 a.m., Robertson was driving a 2011 white Toyota Probox on the Muirhead Main Road in Denby in a westerly direction when, upon reaching a section of the roadway, the vehicle, which was traveling in a relatively high speed, made contact with the left sidewalk before spinning around and colliding within a concrete column. Robertson sustained head injuries and was extracted from the vehicle by firefighters. He was pronounced dead at the Mapen Hospital. This is the second fatal accident in Mapen so far this year. On Thursday, a pedal cyclist died in a collision involving a Jamaica Defence Force service vehicle. Shocking New Year's murders. As most Jamaicans welcome the New Year in celebration and worship, two murders, one described as brutal, given that the victim was mutilated, left family and friends who knew the slain man badly shaken. Odin Christopher Lewis, a 39-year-old assistant operations manager at Royal Decameron Hotel in Runaway Bay, St. Anne, was shot dead sometime after 1 a.m., while the dismembered body of an unidentified man from Central Village in St. Catherine, who is believed to have been mentally ill, was found on the street just outside the gates of a construction company in the parish. On Thursday, clothes and blood stains were seen on the spot where the body was found. People in Central Village who knew the homeless man expressed shock at his killing. Some said he was not a troublemaker and could not understand why someone would want him dead. One resident said that the man may have attacked somebody in the ear with a machete near Christmas and therefore surmises that his death may have been linked to that incident. Him always come and beg me a money. It's just the other day he said that I'm a kind lady and anytime him get no money, him go carry some come give me. One lady told reporters. I don't know his name, but he's always walking around. It's a surprise to me, oh God, which brutal someone would do that. He wasn't mad, madman. He was just homeless. He isn't a troublemaker. He just walk around and beg little food and so forth. The last time I saw him, he was cutting across the road to go onto the other side. Who could have chopped him up so? She lamented. In relation to the assistant manager, reporters were told that after celebrating the arrival of the new year with co-workers and guests at the hotel, he went home, and as he exited his Toyota Axio motor vehicle, he was pounced upon by a gunman who pumped multiple bullets into his head and upper body. Reporters spoke to Lewis's relatives, who said that the family was shocked and devastated by the murder. It tore out our hearts, his father Clifton Lewis noted. He was an easygoing, no-nonsense person. He was very quiet and reserved. He had no children, but he was working at the Cameron for just over 10 years. He went there as a waiter and moved up to the ranks to a dining room supervisor, then food and beverage coordinator, and then assistant operations manager, the elder Lewis shared. A female relative struggled to comment on Thursday's afternoon, explaining that she still couldn't wrap her mind around the fact that he had been murdered. Despite not being able to say much, she still managed to share that she loved him very much. He was well loved by family members on both sides. He loved his job and was very passionate about it. He was very proud of his promotion last year around June. He got manager of the quarter because he was appointed in that position. He just took it on and gave it his all and began to receive commendations for it, she shared. He did his work properly. He was very neat and organized. Everything he did well. He was a loving individual, especially with family. He was so excited about his promotion, she added. Another relative commented that during a visit to Lewis's workplace after the murder, the management team and his co-workers spoke very highly of him. It was very moving when all of them said the same thing about him. They said you hardly knew which department he belonged to. He would seem something that needed to be done, and he just got it done. Even the guests spoke highly of him. He was well loved. As one of his co-workers said, not everybody is going to like every decision you make, but the most part, persons really loved and appreciate him. Police have not yet identified a motive for the killing. despite claims circulating on social media. From January 1 to December 28 last year, Jamaica recorded 1,138 murders, 259 fewer than the same period in 2023. Charges laid against several persons arrested during police operation in Trelawney. Some of the 13 persons arrested during targeted police operation in Trelawney have been charged in relation to breaches of the Law Reformed Act. Others were processed and released. The operations commenced in Ulster Spring, Waitabit, and Warsop. Head of the division, Senior Superintendent Winston Milton, said cops seized 2 cellular phones and cash amounting to $624,500. The operations, which continued, targeted violent producers, persons of interest, wanted individuals, and major lottery scammers, who also focused on the seizure of prohibited weapons and ammunition. Superintendent Milton stressed that the continued operations are aimed at disrupting criminal network and enhancing safety.
So yesterday on the Operation Reassure, we conducted multiple targeted raids. We're focusing on persons who were wanted in the South Trelawney area, persons who intelligence has pointed to as being in possession of illegal firearms and ammunition. These are specific individuals, and the raid was intelligence driven. During the course of the operation, some 13 individuals were detained. We seized cash amounting to over 600,000, and these money was seized pursuant to the Law Reform Act. So since then, we have been questioning persons. Some persons have been questioned and released. Others have been charged. Breach of the Law Reform Act mostly. I won't be specific in terms of the persons charged. And there are some persons who are still awaiting to be questioned in the presence of their attorney. This will be an ongoing operation. Yes, we did not have the magnitude of that yesterday, but we continue that. In terms of the numbers, it will fluctuate from day to day. Those have not been collated yet, so I can't give you that yet. The operation officer is still out there in the field.
Significant achievements in 2024, says Holness. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the country had several significant achievements in 2024, including a reduction in serious crimes. Holness says that the strategy of long-term investments in equipment, personnel, intelligence, and leadership in the security forces is paying off. Serious crimes are down approximately 14%, and murders are down approximately 18%, the second consecutive year of reduction, Holness pointed out. The Prime Minister provided details during his 2025 New Year's Day message on January 1. He said the country's economic performance continued to be strong, with unemployment continuing to decline to the lowest in Jamaica's history. Inflation declined to well within the targeted band of 4% to 6%. Interest rates have come down steadily. Our dollars have been trading stable over the past years, and our national debt to gross domestic product (GDP) ratio is set to fall below 70%, the lowest in over 30 years, Holness stated. The Prime Minister noted that the country's infrastructure program, including highway construction, water supply, broadband, parks, housing, hospital, health centers, police stations, fire stations, and urban centers, is incomparable to any other era in Jamaica's independent history. Our social safety net program have seen significant increase in resources of up to 30% targeted at the most vulnerable. We have more than doubled the minimum wage, further increased that income tax threshold, executed the first ever reverse tax credit giveback, and we have increased the pay of public sector workers by over 200 billion. These achievements are phenomenal and incontestable, Holness noted. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister said the government will build on the successes achieved in 2024. More importantly, we will take what we have learned and the challenges expressed by our people and write the next chapter in Jamaica's prosperity story, he added. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.